What? Tom Thibodeau fired? What the? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do at the very least 3 times a week over the digital airwaves of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. As always, I'd like to take a moment to thank my subscribers and followers and listeners following me on iHeartRadio, courtesy millions of downloads show that you've been doing that over the last few months, so thank you so much. As it pertains to YouTube, the digital airwaves, we've now eclipsed 1.23 million subscribers. Can't thank y'all for the love and support enough. Keep it coming. And I'm going to keep on coming. And continue to like and follow the show. Just click the bell to get notified for all of our newest content. And you too shall be the latest member of the Stephen A. Smith Show family. And while you're doing that, make sure to pick up a copy of my New York Times best-selling book, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes, now in paperback. Just go to straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. Once again, that's straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. This is a special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. And the reason why it is a special edition is because the New York Knicks, all right, the New York Knicks have decided that after 5 years, it was time to fire Coach Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau today was relieved of his duties just a couple of days after the New York Knicks were unceremoniously removed from the NBA playoffs, courtesy of the Indiana Pacers, who beat them in 6 games to head to the NBA Finals while Tom Thibodeau is without a job. This is a man that guided the New York Knicks to 51 wins this season, a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. He's also somebody, ladies and gentlemen, I've been very, very critical of. I've been very, very critical of from the standpoint that I wish the man used this bench more. I remember that Kenny Smith, I said before, and I'll say it again, it was the line of the year when Kenny Smith the TNT, said, quote, Tom Thibodeau wouldn't want to play 9 dudes in a baseball game. That is absolutely true. So you'll run starters into the ground. You know, you don't utilize your bench. You don't work diligently enough on the bench to make sure that you got deep enough you got a deep enough bench to utilize, a la Indiana and OKC, participants in this upcoming NBA Finals who go 9, 10, sometimes 11 deep. That ain't Tom Thibodeau. And I understand that. But it's just something it's just not a good feeling to watch this man get you to within 2 games of a berth to the NBA Finals, and he's gone, but Leon Rose, the president of basketball operations for the New York Knicks, stays when you're the one that elected to trade 5 first-round picks, 4 unprotected, to the Brooklyn Nets for Mikal Bridges. There's something that's just wrong with that picture. Mikal Bridges is a damn good player. Mikal Bridges is Mr. Reliable. Can give you 17 to 19 a game. He's going to play 75 to 82 games a regular season for you, Mr. Iron Man. He's very reliable, very dependable, a damn good player, a damn good defensive player, but there's nothing about him that's elite. He's never been an all-star. And you give up 5 first-round picks for him, 4 unprotected? That is what Tom Thibodeau did. That's what the New York Knicks did. That is what Leon Rose did. But Tom Thibodeau's out of a job? See, at some point in time, it's about being fair. It's about being fair. If Ty Lue is out there, I'm good with it. If Eric Spoelstra's out there, I'm good with it. Mike Malone might be available for the job. He is available for the job. I don't know if the Knicks are going to hire him. Former head coach for the Denver Nuggets who won a championship a couple of years ago. I got that part. Because Tom Thibodeau never coached in the NBA Finals as a head coach where Michael Malone won one. I got that part. Jay Wright out of Villanova, 2-time national champion, who coached Brunson, who coached Mikal Bridges, who coached Josh Hart when they were in college at Villanova. I'm hearing his name. Don't know how much truth there is to that. I personally think Rick Brunson, the father of Jalen Brunson, former standout player at Temple University, an assistant coach on the bench with Tom Thibodeau, who has the pulse of the players. I don't mind that at all. But that's something we could get into in the days and the weeks down the road. Right now, the issue is Tom Thibodeau. Why the hell is he out of a job? Again. He's not flawless. Again, there have been times where I've been critical of Tom Thibodeau, no doubt. But for him to guide the Knicks as deep as they did, for him to upend Boston, and I don't want to hear about no injury to Jason Tatum because Jason Tatum went down with about a couple of minutes left in Game 3, and the Knicks were about to go up 3-1. And he was healthy when the Knicks beat Boston Games 1 and 2 in Boston of that Eastern Conference semifinal series. So I'm looking at all of that, and I'm saying, yo, we got to call it like it is. We got to call it like he see it. Look at the roster of the New York Knicks. Tom Thibodeau is a defensive-minded coach. Is it possible? Is it plausible? Does it make sense, ladies and gentlemen, for us to look at Leon Rose and the New York Knicks and say, yo, you kind of compromised him because he's a defensive-minded coach, and that you kept Hartenstein and a Julius Randle and a Dante DiVincenzo and your picks, you could have got this far. And you'd be in a better position to go out there and, let's say, get a Giannis Antetokounmpo. But the likelihood of that happening is slim now. And it's just something about it that don't feel right, that don't seem right. Shams Charania of ESPN reported that the Knicks thought it was just time to move in a different direction. I spoke to sources within the New York Knicks. They're like, it's time, Stephen A. It's time. Time for what? Time for what? I mean, I'm truly at a loss. Do you remember back in March when Mikal Bridges and Tom Thibodeau had a disagreement? 12 hours after Mikal Bridges said publicly that he talked privately to his coach, Tom Thibodeau, about the starters playing too much minutes and a bench not enough, the NBA's league leader in minutes capped a 41-minute overtime performance with a buzzer-beating game-winning 3, 5 hours after Thibodeau publicly stated that he and Bridges never had a private discussion about the starters playing too many minutes and the bench too few. The coach put the ball in the hands of Bridges over and over down the stretch to seal the win. It didn't negate the fact that Bridges still complained. So I remember that. I'm looking at that, and then I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm also looking at this. Tibs in 5 seasons as the coach. This was the Knicks' statements as an organization. Our organization is singularly focused on winning a championship for our fans, team president Leon Rose said. We can't thank Tom enough for pouring his heart and soul into each and every day of being the New York Knicks head coach. Ultimately, we made the decision we feel is best for our organization moving forward. Ain't that some weak-ass shit of a statement? You can't tell anybody why? This is the problem with the New York Knicks. Because the fans are still going to come to the Garden. My dumb ass is still going to come to the Garden. Other people are still going to come to the Garden. We're going to pack to the rafters. We're going to come there and support the team, no matter what the hell they do, because they never have to answer for anything. You would think you letting a coach like Tom Thibodeau go, you stand before the media and answer some damn questions. Not Leon Rose, a man that I've known for decades, that I have profound respect for, that I think for the most part has done a hell of a job. But there's a couple of moves he's done that I disagree with, that I think one could argue easily compromise the success of Tom Thibodeau. You've never seen a Tom Thibodeau team play defense the way this Knicks team played defense this year. We all knew they weren't up to snuff defensively. We got articles coming out in The Athletic about Karl Anthony Towns and how some of the teammates thought that he wasn't all bought in. You see his size 21 feet. You see his suspect knees and legs. You think he's going to run up and down the court every single play defensively when he knows you need his offense at 24 and 13 a night? That wasn't Tom Thibodeau's decision. That was Tibs. That was Leon Rose, I'm sorry. DiVincenzo and Randle. Listen, I like these moves. I even liked Mikal Bridges being on the team. I didn't know there was 5 first-round picks for him at the time. But these are the kind of things that we got to live with. You would think that having lived with it, if you're going to make a decision like this, you stand before the public and you tell them why. And I think the only way that you skid over that and let that go is if Ty Lue decides to depart from Los Angeles Clippers. Or you got a Mike Malone or a Jay Wright coming into play. And I don't know that they'll do a better job than Tibs, but they both can coach. And if you had this planned all along and that was just excessive, then it's self-explanatory. But if there's some coaching search and you don't know definitively who you want or who you're going to bring on board when you made this move to let Tibs go, it looks like Tibs got screwed. New York Knicks will tell you it's time, it's time, it's time. And I know somebody as intense and as intensely focused as Tibs can wear on players. I just think that when the man just took you to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, when the team wasn't what it was last year in terms of grit, because of the moves you made as the executive of the team, firing the coach is just bordering on a scapegoat status. But that's just me. I'm just looking at the Knicks right now, and my question to myself is, where do they go from here? That's how I'm looking at it. I'm just looking at things going on right now, wondering what the Knicks are and what they're going to look like this offseason. They were 51-31. They were the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. First back-to-back 50-win seasons in 30 years. That's Tibs. Advanced to the conference finals for the first time since 2000. Lost back then to the Pacers, by the way, in 6 games as well. I'm sorry, this one in 6 games. They went to conference finals this time. Okay? Free agents, the only ones they got is Precious Achiuwa, Cameron Payne, Delon Wright, Landry Shamet. Don't get me started with Shamet, who decided to hit back-to-back threes when the game didn't matter in Game 6 Saturday night. Don't get me started with that. I'll let that go. Your only draft assets in June is the number 50 overall pick from the Memphis Grizzlies. The trade with Brooklyn last June left New York with only one tradable first in the next 7 years. In the next 7 years, the Knicks only have one tradable first-round pick. Top 8 protected first from the Wizards in 2026. The Knicks are allowed to swap first-round picks in 2026, 2030, and 2032 and have 7 second-round picks available. That's what this is. And just to remind you, the Knicks acquired Bridges and a second-rounder from the Brooklyn Nets for Bogdanovich. 5 first-round picks, 4 unprotected, 1 first-round pick swap, and 1 second-round pick swap. Damn, you would have thought Luka or Kevin Durant was coming. No, all of that was for Mikal Bridges, who, by the way, is good but needs to improve and live up to the status that he was traded for. By the way, last June, the Knicks traded the 26th overall pick of the 2024 NBA draft to Oklahoma City in exchange for 5 second-round picks. That's how they got the 5 second-round picks. All right? Now, remember the Karl Anthony Towns trade. They acquired Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a top 13. The Knicks acquired Karl Anthony Towns from the T-Wolves for 3-time All-Star Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a top 13 protected first-round pick from the Pistons. Just a little nuggets of notes for that one, ladies and gentlemen. The pick was top 13 protected in 2025, top 11 in 2026, top 9 in 2027, and will convert to a second-round pick if not conveyed by then. Potential, albeit unlikely, trade targets are Giannis and Kevin Durant. The Knicks' likely trade chips include Karl Anthony Towns with his huge remaining contract, Mikal Bridges due for a contract extension, Miles McBride, Tony Kolek, and a top 8 protected first from the Wizards in 2026. Those are the assets that the New York Knicks have available to them because they gave Anunoby $212 million. You know you ain't moving Brunson, and Josh Hart is too inexpensive to let go of in today's market. And there you have it. So I'm just looking at it. Karl Anthony Towns, $53.1 million next year, $57.1 million the first season after, $61 million player option in 2027, 2028. Knicks sizable contracts. Karl Anthony Towns just gave it to you. OG Anunoby, $39.6 million in player option in 2028. Mikal Bridges at $4.9 million. Unrestricted free agent next year. Josh Hart, $19.5 million. Team option 2027. Mitchell Robinson, $12.9 million. Unrestricted free agent after next season. Deuce McBride, $4.3 million. Unrestricted free agent as of 2027. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're talking about. New York Knicks enter the offseason with $200 million in salary and 4 roster spots available. They're $3.8 million over the first apron and $8 million below the second. They'll get $3.5 million in financial relief if the team option of P.J. Tucker is declined, which it will be. New York has until June 29th to exercise Tucker's option and a $2 million option of last year's second-round pick. This is what we're looking at. It's not bad. The New York Knicks will be in the playoffs next year. But where you going after that? You think they're going to be better than Cleveland? You think they're suddenly going to be better than the Indiana Pacers? You think the Orlando Magic is just going to fade into the twilight? You think the Detroit Pistons are going anywhere? They didn't have Jaden Ivey and Isaiah Stewart. Knicks got their work cut out for them, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, they do. I feel bad for Tom Thibodeau. Again, I've been critical of him wanting him to utilize his bench, which he did as the season waned because he had no choice. And his stubbornness may have gotten the better of him. And his voice, and they just may have needed a new voice. All of that's fine. But if you're Leon Rose, you don't get to just hide behind some weak-ass, meaningless statement. You got to answer questions. It's not like you deserve to be fired or anything. We all know you did a damn good job overall as the new president of basketball operations for the New York Knicks over these last few years. You've resurrected this franchise. You've made them interesting and compelling. You've battled and you've fought and you've gone deep into the playoffs. Nobody's calling for you to be fired or anything like that. All we're saying, Leon Rose, is how the hell you going to give that weak-ass statement and you don't address the media and let them know, look, man, we're trying to win a championship. We got to go in a different direction. There are things that we should have done differently. We deserve to hear that. We deserve to hear how Leon Rose is feeling about this roster. How does he feel about giving up so many assets for Mikal Bridges? Why specifically did he do it, even though we all know why? Because Jalen Brunson wanted him to, because Jalen Brunson could have signed a deal a year later and got over $120 million more, but he didn't do it. We got that part. But it'd be nice to hear. Karl Anthony Towns and the health, his knees, his feet. What's up? They're home. I'm not losing sleep over this. I lost sleep Saturday night when they got sent home from the playoffs and Indiana's going to the finals. I'm not going to lose sleep over them changing their coach. I just would like to know why, from the person I deem most responsible for all of this, in Leon Rose, why he made this decision. That's it. And then we move on from there. Got to get on out of here. Just wanted to sound off about this New York Knicks firing of Tom Thibodeau. I don't like it. I think it's kind of messed up. I don't think a lot of people saw this coming. There's no question that Tom Thibodeau would have went home unemployed if they had lost to Boston early in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If they had gotten taken out in 4 or 5 games, Tom Thibodeau would not have a job as the New York Knicks. But the minute he won that series, everybody and their mother was assuming, he'll be back. Especially since the challenges that the New York Knicks faced, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, was primarily because of decisions made by Leon Rose, not Tom Thibodeau. But that's me. We'll talk about it in the days, weeks, and months to come. I'll keep my eye on who the next head coach of the New York Knicks is going to be. I got 4 names that I want to be prime candidates for this job. Mike Malone and Jay Wright are given professionally, collegiately, with what they did in Denver and at Villanova respectively. I got that part. Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson's daddy, an assistant coach on that bench. He can't leave that bench. He has to be on that bench. I've watched this guy have the pulse of these players. He has to be there. And if he got elevated to the head coach job of the New York Knicks, it wouldn't bother me one bit, and it shouldn't bother y'all. That would be 1. That would be 3. And last but not least, Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson. Remember that guy that essentially was blackballed, that did a hell of a job coaching the Golden State Warriors and basically prepping Steph and Clay, the Splash Brothers, along with Draymond for Steve Kerr's arrival? Remember that? That dude. Why can't he get a look? Why can't he get a head coaching job with what he knows about the game? And if not him, are y'all ready for this one? This is the 5th one, the last one that I'll throw out there for everybody to hear. How about the lead assistant for the Los Angeles Clippers by the name of Mr. Jeff Van Gundy, bringing him back? I know he didn't leave under the greatest of terms for the Knicks and back decades ago, but damn it, he's a hell of a coach. Personally speaking, I would be in support of Mark Jackson being the head coach. But if Jeff Van Gundy came back, I would be in support of Mark Jackson being an assistant. That's it. That's where I'm coming from. I want that man back on the coaching sidelines in the NBA. Nobody as productive as Mark Jackson should be ostracized from a sport like this. I would love to see him back. And I'm going to keep saying it. And that's all I'm going to say. I got to get on out of here. I hope y'all appreciate me sounding off. I had to let my feelings be known. Y'all will see me on First Take tomorrow. You'll see me here. You'll see me, Lord knows, on what Sports Center or any other platform because of this firing. I got a lot to say about it, of course, and everybody's going to want to hear from me. So that's the situation. I just want to make sure y'all heard from me first. I got to get on out of here. This is Stephen A. signing off. Until next time, everybody. Peace and love. Take care. God bless.